So what we do in our lab is we make organic solar cells. And so there's a lot of advantages of having an organic solar cell. The first is that the materials are much cheaper than traditional solar cells that are out on the market. One of the drawbacks currently is the efficiencies are low, and they're hard to make them cheap enough that people want to buy them. And so part of what we're trying to do is discover and investigate how we can kind of get that out there. So what we do is we put a polymer, which is conductive in a semiconducting polymer, onto a glass slide, and then onto that we deposit aluminum. And so one of the things that we have in our lab here is an evaporator, which thermally evaporates aluminum onto that cell. So this is a bell jar evaporator, and inside that bell jar evaporator you have an aluminum slug. It heats up, goes to a liquid, and then from the evaporation coats the surface of things. And then you can pull it right out of the evaporator and test it right inside of this glove box. So one of the problems with these plastics is that when they're out in the environment, they degrade in air. So you need them to either encapsulate, which is seal them so that the air can't get at it, or do your testing in an environment that doesn't have oxygen. And so this glove box is backfilled with nitrogen and essentially eliminating all of the oxygen. And so we have a liquid nitrogen tank outside that pipes in nitrogen gas and fills this up. And so we can actually, from right inside of this system, just test our solar cells. And so in here you can record the temperature the cell is at, and you actually bias it with a voltage and then measure the current that comes out. This essentially allows you to figure out what the efficiencies you have of your cell, how much actual power you're getting out of your cell. And so for this example, we have this IV curve, which is essentially a trace of how efficient the cell is. And then you can use this to essentially say, okay, this cell is around 4% efficient. And this whole system allows us to get that information. Thank you. My name is Guralnick. I'm from the University of Delaware, and I work for the Mackay Group.